Yeah, nobody set out to destroy you. You destroyed yourselves in this country with your ludicrous, hypocritical behaviour. Truth be told, what you just did is complete and utter garbage.
Have you ever met someone who seems like they're always on? Like their every word is pre-approved, their every move rehearsed, and even their pauses feel perfectly timed? That's the vibe Meghan Markle's giving off right now. And the world has started to notice. What once felt empowering and polished now feels off. And the backlash? It's not just tabloid gossip anymore. We're talking headlines, deals lost, fans questioning everything, and an entire brand starting to unravel in real time.
It's one long rendition of all their greatest whinges and a load of self-congratulatory nonsense. Harry and Meghan sold their royal souls to become reality TV stars.
It all reignited, explosively, because of one man, Piers Morgan. Say what you will about him, love him or hate him, the guy knows how to throw a match into a gas leak. Meghan has been his favorite punching bag for years, but this time, he went nuclear. Not a tweet, not a shady headline. Live, on TV. No one set out to destroy you. You destroyed yourselves with your hypocritical behavior. He spat. It's garbage. And what triggered all that fire? A podcast, not a documentary, not an expose. A soft-lit, whisper-voiced, emotionally packaged podcast. The kind Meghan's been doing for a while. But something about this one cracked the surface. Maybe it was the tone. Maybe it was the tears. Or the lack of them.
Yeah, what has he done with this Netflix series? He's used his mother to sell it. Could there be a more grotesque exploitation or a more hypocritical one?
Piers didn't just call her fake. He called her performative. Said the emotions didn't land, the tears didn't flow. And that's when the internet put on its detective hat. Because guess what? A clip resurfaced from Meghan's Suits days. Casually, even proudly, joking that she could cry on command. "Left eye, go," she said, snapping her fingers. It was cute then. But now it feels like foreshadowing. Suddenly, every blink, every shaky voice, every podcast pause was up for scrutiny. Was it real? Or was it rehearsed? Her fans started to ask the same question. Not just the critics, not just Piers, the very people who once defended her. Let's talk about that podcast. Meghan's episodes don't feel like casual chats anymore. They feel polished, too polished. The lighting? Vogue level. The guests? Always adoring. The tone? Like a guided meditation. Even the smallest details, the thank you notes, the curated gift baskets, scream branding over bonding.
And then we've got the twerking video. So we're going to take a look at this together.
Back to back.
Back to back.
I mean, if they're looking at that and think this is clever,
yeah.
I mean, are they stupid or what?
Well, I think
Because
they
I just think
Meghan Markle in allegedly a labor and delivery room with her loser of a husband, pregnant and twerking to allegedly induce labor. I saw this and I sent an emergency 911 text to Kinsey.
And then there's the title. Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. A harmless signature? Maybe. But it raised eyebrows. Because by stepping back from royal duties, she agreed to stop using that style. Yet here it was, right there on podcast stationery. It felt like a contradiction. Like she wanted to keep the crown without carrying the weight. Piers called it out. But again, he wasn't alone this time. The reaction? Huge. Social media didn't just buzz. It exploded. Not in her favor. The memes rolled in. The TikToks. The think pieces. Even her defenders started looking sideways. The line between authenticity and performance wasn't blurry anymore. It was gone.
because it just looks like it's in such poor taste, and yet she thinks that she's a princess and has the right almost to be HRH, although officially...
Their latest Let's Have Our Privacy exhibit, Exhibit A, would appear to be a rather interesting video, which I'm going to show you now. This is Harry and Meghan dancing in a maternity ward.
Spotify? They noticed too. Remember the big deal Harry and Meghan signed? Gone. Executives reportedly called it all polish, no pulse. They wanted real. What they got? A glamour reel. Behind the scenes, Hollywood insiders started using phrases like narrative fatigue and emotional overkill. Apparently, Meghan didn't just want input, she wanted control over everything, every angle, every edit, every question. And maybe that would have worked if the content landed. But instead of gripping, it felt guided. Instead of raw, it felt rehearsed. Even her vulnerability felt strategic. Then came the South Park episode. Brutal. 2 animated characters marching around yelling, "We want privacy!" while selling books, giving interviews, and making documentaries. It wasn't subtle, but it was devastating. They didn't even use her name. They didn't have to. It was a mirror, and the world laughed.
Okay. For those of you who are listening, that was the cartoon Meghan and Harry holding their placards, their protesting signs saying, "We want privacy, we want privacy," okay?
Who is guiding this man from this vicious woman? Because she is vicious. You know, it's all about her. She'll do whatever she can to get what she wants. And Harry, you know, whatever.
That episode hit harder than any editorial could. Because comedy doesn't just mock, it reflects. And the reflection wasn't flattering. The backlash shifted. It wasn't about her being a royal outsider anymore. It was about her being an insider to a new machine, one she built herself. A machine obsessed with optics, with control, with keeping the narrative just shiny enough to sell. Then came the Nigeria trip. Supposed to be her chance to pivot, right? A goodwill visit, cultural engagement, a softer image. But the photos? Too perfect. The outfits? Too styled. Critics didn't see outreach. They saw PR. People asked, was this genuine? Or another episode in the Meghan Markle show? The photos went viral, but not for the reason she wanted. Traditional attire became a trending topic, not for appreciation, but for suspicion. Another camera-ready campaign masked as authenticity. And that's the core problem. It's not what she says. It's what people believe, or no longer believe, when she says it. Because when your makeup is flawless in every tearful interview, when the chicken coop is power washed before the cameras roll, and when every moment feels like it's filtered through a publicist, people stop seeing vulnerability. They start seeing strategy. Even her attempts to connect, "I have chills, I could cry right now," were met with skepticism. Not because people are heartless, but because it all felt timed, like there was a script, and we were watching the performance, not the person. And in Hollywood, that's fatal.
Well, it was a Channel 5 investigation as to the state of the Sussex's finances. Now, we know they didn't move to a 2-bedroom cottage somewhere in the middle of nowhere. They're living in quite a large mansion in Montecito.
Producers started pulling back, slowly, quietly. Projects stalled, meetings delayed. Her name stopped being a guaranteed win. It became a risk. Because unpredictability kills deals, especially when it feels tied to ego, not artistry. One former assistant reportedly said she wasn't difficult in the diva sense, but in the must-control-everything sense. Every shot, every narrative, every response. That's not inherently wrong, but in an industry built on collaboration, it wears thin fast. Piers Morgan? Still loud, still ranting. But here's the twist. He's not the issue anymore. He's just the amplifier, the echo. The real problem, trust. It's been eroded, slowly, publicly, and not just with strangers, but with fans who used to believe. Meanwhile, Harry's out there in his own whirlwind. Memoirs, interviews, lawsuits. Chaos in every direction. But Meghan, she went quiet. Not because she's hiding, but because she's waiting, strategizing, planning her next move. And sure enough, rumors started swirling. A lifestyle brand, a cooking show, a wellness empire to rival Goop. The idea? Rebuild, rebrand, restart. But the response? Crickets. Or worse, side eyes. Because the problem isn't the content, it's the baggage. Every new project comes with it. Unshakable. Unseen. A cloud of suspicion that no lighting setup can outshine. Even the most harmless ideas, recipes, skincare tips, parenting advice, feel heavy. Not because they're wrong, but because people are waiting, watching, analyzing every pause, every blink, every compliment, looking for the slip, the reveal, the truth behind the mask. That's the new reality for Meghan Markle. Not obscurity, not cancellation, but distance, emotional distance, industry distance, audience distance. And unless she finds a way to close that gap, to speak without filters, to show up without polish, the reinventions will keep coming. But the belief won't, because the applause has stopped. Not because people stopped caring, but because they started wondering, who is she really talking to? Her fans? Her guests? Or just the mirror?